Incremental feasibility of a Dyson swarm, a construction roadmap for a solar system-scale energy collection system. Global electricity demand is rising at an unprecedented pace. In 2024, demand grew by 4.3%, twice the average of the past decade. The annual increase reached 1,080 terawatt-hours, exceeding Japan's total annual consumption. Data center consumption is projected to more than double between 2022 and 2026. AI server power demand grows by 30% every year. Can we truly meet this demand within Earth alone? The Sun radiates 3.828 times 10 to the 26th watts every second. Of that, Earth intercepts just 4.5 times 10 to the negative 10 of the total, a footprint smaller than a virus, leaving no measurable impact on the cosmic energy budget. Humanity has passively received a faint trace from an immense stellar furnace. But now, while carefully managing Earth's thermal balance, it is time to actively harvest stellar energy. The cost of escaping Earth's atmosphere is collapsing, from $54,000 per kilogram in the Space Shuttle era to $2,700 per kilogram on Falcon 9, and now targeting under $100 per kilogram with Starship, a 99.8% reduction. Access to space has entered a deflationary era. Technology Readiness Level, or TRL, 1 means basic research, 9 means proven in operation. Thin film photovoltaics, TRL 7 to 8, already demonstrated in space. Wireless power transmission, TRL 6 to 7, proven on the ground by JAXA. Starship heavy lift, TRL 6 to 7, in active flight testing. Autonomous assembly robotics, TRL 5 to 6, underway in orbit. Every required technology exceeds TRL 5. No invention is missing. The question is no longer whether we can build it, but in what sequence. No international law, no gentleman's agreement. Every major power is entering the new age of space discovery. China. Kilometer-scale array plans with 2028 and 2035 milestones, aggressive and state-led. The United States. Caltech's Maple demonstrated orbital power transmission in 2023, private-led with defense involvement. ESA in Europe. The Solaris initiative estimates 601 billion euros in benefits, aiming to set European standards. The United Kingdom. The Space Energy Initiative, private-led, targeting the 2030s. Japan. JAXA has researched this since the 1980s, with Ohisama currently in progress, a pioneer, now falling behind in deployment. Legacy megaproject models had a fatal flaw. Design, build, 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 then, only after completion, power generation and revenue. Decades of zero income. Funding simply cannot hold. This proposal is different. From the first panel deployed, immediate generation, immediate revenue. That revenue funds the second panel, then the 100th, then the 1,000th. Self-replicating expansion, reaching break-even without waiting for completion. Build to earn, earn to build. Phase 0, through the 2030s. Starship mass production and cost establishment, targeting under $100 per kilogram, with revenue from launch services. Phase 1, the 2040s. Demonstration satellite arrays begin selling power at multi-trillion yen scale investment. Phase 2, the 2050s. Revenue reinvestment drives autonomous expansion, and revenue begins to exceed cost. Phase 3, the 2060s onward. Full-scale deployment, the era of stellar energy. The technical problem is solved. What remains is the first move. The private sector alone cannot bear the long payback period. The state alone cannot scale budgets to match. So, who writes the first check? It may be surprising. Restructuring Japan's nuclear aftermath scheme holds the key to financing this vision. 3 conditions must be met. First, capital structured for long-duration commitment, able to endure decades of payback. Second, funds already socially accepted as a loss, creating no new public burden and few political barriers to repurposing. Third, a state framework that guarantees the structure, absorbing risks the private sector cannot. Capital meeting all three conditions exists in Japan. Will TEPCO remain a decommissioning company or become a premium asset? Today, the Nuclear Damage Compensation Facility holds 54.75% of voting rights, effectively a quasi-nationalized utility. Fiscal 2026 projected net loss, negative 641 billion yen. Decommissioning special charges, 904 billion yen. Total decommissioning cost, 8 trillion yen. Yet TEPCO holds hidden essential assets, Japan's largest transmission grid, 29 million customers, a highly skilled engineering organization. These assets function perfectly as receiving and distribution infrastructure for space-based solar power. TEPCO is not a liability. It is a misclassified asset. Turn Fukushima into the starting point of a journey to space. Step 1. Liability carve-out. Transfer 8 trillion yen of decommissioning debt to the sovereign balance sheet. Given the NDF's existing guarantee structure, this is essentially formalization of current reality. Market shock is limited. Step 2. Strategic repositioning. From decommissioning entity to Japan's flagship infrastructure operator for the stellar energy era. Step 3. Participation in the Dyson Swarm Special Purpose Vehicle. TEPCO invests 500 billion to 1 trillion yen for preferred equity and a 30-year power purchase agreement, securing priority supply rights for Japan. This scheme is illustrative and subject to regulatory feasibility. When does the project turn profitable? Base case IRR for Phase 0 through Phase 1, 11 to 14%. Conservative downside scenario, 7 to 8%. Discount rate, 8%. Comparable to offshore wind infrastructure and meeting institutional investor thresholds. Inaction also has a cost. Will national energy security remain dependent on others? Who will write the rules of space? Scenario A, the worst case, a cosmic Cold War. The US, Japan bloc, and China build incompatible systems. Microwave transmission is militarized. The Outer Space Treaty effectively collapses. Scenario B, the middle path. Standards competition. Multiple blocks operate in parallel. The ITU and UNUSA coordinate loose interoperability. Scenario C, the best case. A WTO for space. The International Dyson Swarm Authority, or IDSA, is established. Founding proposers, Japan and the United States. Founding members, the EU and India. China joins as an initial observer. Functions: orbital slot and frequency allocation, safety standards, energy guarantees for developing nations, and inspection against military conversion. Japan carries the unique moral authority to lead this cooperation. Drill, baby, drill. And then what? In 2024, new fossil fuel discoveries, 1.8 billion barrels. Only 6% of the 30.1 billion barrels extracted. Japan's energy self-sufficiency, just 13%. Approximately 90% of primary energy is imported with no price-setting power. Carbon credit prices, $50 to $150 per ton, added on top of fossil fuel costs. Can a future built on continued drilling be sustainable? Reasons not to start can be found in abundance, but the facts are clear. Solar energy. Earth receives about 9,500 times humanity's total consumption. Launch costs, down 99.8%, entering a deflationary era. Required technologies, all TRL 5 or above, no invention needed. Financial model, IRR 11 to 14% at institutional investor levels. Competitive landscape, 5 nations already in the SBSP race. Business model, revenue from the first panel, self-replicating expansion. The only missing variable is will. Earth is a nearly closed system, balanced between energy received from the sun and energy radiated into space. No matter how efficiently we use terrestrial resources, civilization's growth faces a physical ceiling. and sourcing energy within Earth faces severe physical and geopolitical barriers. Meeting every nation's demand is extraordinarily difficult. Whether humanity remains bound to Earth or extends beyond it, we must move from passive reception of stellar energy to active acquisition. From passive to active. The paper is published open access on Zenodo, free to read. DOI 10.5281/Zenodo.196.03384. The English version, Japanese version, and policy briefs are also available.